You Will Not Remain is a short game jam game that is free and takes about 20-25 minutes to complete. If you know of or liked games like Hello Charlotte or Amori or other artsy little depressing stories, I highly suggest you play it, as this video will spoil the game in basically its entirety. It's short, and very free. This video will be here after you finish. You wake up, you water your plant, you make your coffee that you end up forgetting about and let it get lukewarm. You eat if you feel like it, maybe. You don't really feel like it. You stand outside and look at something too far away, or maybe it's too close for comfort. It's hard to tell. You go back to bed. You miss her. You wake up, you water your plant, you choke down coffee that you didn't make that well because it wasn't worth the effort you couldn't afford to expend. Wait, holy shit, is that a dog? Oh my god, a dog! Hello, baby boy! Who is the bestest? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You Will Not Remain is a game about mental health, obviously. This is a video essay, what else did you expect? But more importantly, it's a game about managing mental health, not overcoming problems or the tragedies it causes or whatever the cool art style and spooky breadcrumbs may lead you to believe might be contained in some diegetic story. It's about managing. It's about gritting your teeth and getting up and feeding your dog and watering your plant. Sometimes it's not about the horrible things that happen, and sometimes getting better is so slow and monotonous there is no great story to be had of overcoming struggle. That's not even considering that some things do stay with you forever. An unfortunate reality some of us with a certain flavor of worm in our brain have to accept at some point. It's also a story about this rad dog named Lambshank. There is a set dressing of an apocalypse. A large, incomprehensible monster takes up the sky. Everyone else is gone. Each night there are hints of some corrupting event that destroyed the city. Don't let anyone from outside in, the radio cries. They're marked. They'll hurt you. Something vague and scary that does little to explain much other than serve as a framing device for a traumatic event that set our nameless protagonist into their isolated spiral of depression. You get nightly dream sequences where you keep hearing about this mysterious her that the loss of seems to be the root of our character's mental state. Throughout each night, you learn she was outside, of the apartment at least, when this mysterious emergency dropped. For their own safety, they didn't let her in. They let her presumably die out there. We don't know if she was marked, if she was dangerous, and neither does the protagonist, but it very well could have killed them that day to find out. From what we can presume about the world and the state of it, there is a real danger. From the crumbling architecture, the boarded up doors, to the strange things outside of the window. While there isn't much of an internal lore, as the game seems to be almost entirely allegorical, that isn't to say that this sort of situation couldn't be true to real life. People are allowed to mourn people who could have very well ruined them. There is a lot purposefully left vague and open, with focus mainly on the representation of how the protagonist lives, which is baseline survival and isolation. This is where Lambshank comes in. A lot of people talk about knowing their pet needs taken care of keeps them from things like suicide. There are countless people who are only able to get themselves out of bed because their dog is standing on their spleen. Having Lambshank around doesn't fix our protagonist, but it helps. It reminds them to eat, it gets them to leave the room and get fresh air. Sure, we get low, horrible moments after Lambshank shows up, including one of the most simple yet soul-crushing depictions of disassociation I've seen in a while. But It shows only brightness for the future, including Lambshank seemingly saving us from a corrupted person outside, tempting us into danger. This is mainly, from what I can gather with my funny video essay brain, about loss, about hurting someone, or leaving someone, or even just losing them in any way. The trudge through every day after a heavy, life-ruining event. Days go by, life goes on, people go and seem to keep going away as things get worse. The world outside becomes hostile because, let's be honest, the world is hostile. But how much it actually hurts you depends on how vulnerable you are at the moment. Routine is both a vice and a savior. It can keep you waking up the next day out of sheer muscle memory, but also keep you in mindless proximity to the things that hurt you. It can keep you isolated, it can keep you in unhealthy habits, but it also just as well can keep you alive. Often, it's both at once. The biggest thing you come away from this game with is that the title is the opposite to the truth of the matter. You will remain. Sometimes so much goes away that you think, or you feel, or you might be right, that you are the only thing that remains in your life. But remain you will, and remain you should. Because things might not be getting better soon, but someone needs to water the plant and feed the dog, and you have that cup of coffee to finish tomorrow.